Hey, Lori Nicollet. This week is music, poetry, and spoken word week. It is my kind of week, and I'm so excited to give you a new kind of challenge for our assignment this week for English. You are going to earn your points this week if you do something that sounds very simple on the surface, but I want you to go a little deep with it, and that is finding a new poet or spoken word artist, somebody that you have never heard of before, and I want you to find them, find out a little bit about them, and read some of their poetry. There's so many cool artists out there. There's so many people doing something new. So I really want you to find someone that you're interested in, read some of their poems, and then do a short write-up about them. Poets do an amazing job at putting a language to things that are really hard to explain. And some poets do that in a way that might really, really appeal to you, and you just don't know who they are yet. Like Terrence Hayes is somebody that I found out of the blue. Here's what he looks like. He's got some very, very cool poetry. Here's a line from him that I like. Look, the world is everywhere. Satellites, end tables, the pink and white poinsettias outside the church, reunions and degrees, all those radiant asterisks. Soon it will all make sense. That's so cool. I wanted to make sure that you had some resources if you're not quite sure where to start. Obviously, this is a great opportunity to go down some crazy spoken word on YouTube rabbit hole. This would be a great time for that. Just follow it down until you find an artist that you really like. But as part of the assignment, you can absolutely look at some of the links that I've included, like Poetry Out Loud. That's a great place to find spoken word artists. You can look up the Library of Congress. They've got connections to all of the poet laureates. They have a list of the 34 greatest poets of all time. It's a super awesome list. You also have something called button poetry. Button poetry is a collection of spoken word artists. So they've got links to a lot of amazing artists doing very cool stuff. One of those people is this guy Neil Hilborn. Here's a quote from him that I thought was interesting. It's so easy to think and keep thinking until you are the last person left on earth, until the larger world is no larger than the space between your bed and the light switch. Here's Neil Hilborn. This assignment would also be a great time for you to look up a classic poet that maybe you just haven't given yourself the time to look up, or to find a popular poet that you've heard a lot about but haven't read any of their poetry. A lot of people might use this time as a good excuse to look up things about Rupi Kaur or T.S. Eliot. Jamaica Kincaid is another amazing poet that I would definitely advise you to look up and learn more about. Here's a cool line from her. The past is a room full of baggage and rubbish, and sometimes things that are of use. But if they are of real use, I have kept them. Here's what she looks like. So your first task for all of this is going to be to find this poet or spoken word artist, and you can use the resources that are provided on the assignment itself. There's lots of them, like I mentioned earlier. And then there are 4 questions that you need to answer once you have chosen your poet. Question number 1, who is your chosen poet and which of their poems have you chosen to read? I would suggest that you read at least 2 of their poems, but the more the better, because that's going to give you an idea of what themes come across in their work. Question number 2, describe the life of this poet. Discuss their early life, cultural background, and anything you consider important. If you want to know what this could look like, I have an example as part of the assignment. Number 3, what themes, issues, or topics come up in their poetry? What do they like to talk about? Do they talk about social justice issues? Do they describe nature? Do they talk about love? What are the themes coming up in their poetry? And number 4, write down your favorite line. I love to do this kind of stuff. Pick one line. Why did you pick that one? You're always going to see that stuff from me. I just love it. Anyway, write down your favorite line from one of their poems. Why did this line stand out to you? And why did you choose this line as your favorite? There is a really distinct purpose behind this assignment. Even though it's short, I really want you to put the time into finding someone who is new to you. I want you to purposely and intentionally expand your knowledge base here. I want you to expand your definition of poet or spoken word artist or poetry. I just want you to add a name to that amazing mental library that you have and take advantage of this. Go as deep into it as you'd like. I'm here to help you if you run into any roadblocks. But this was really designed with you, all wonderful LNAS students, in mind. And enjoy it. Take this assignment, have fun with it. And if you can, please reach out. Let me know what roadblocks you run into. I have more resources if you need them. I hope to see you all very soon. I miss you. I miss our community a whole lot. And I hope that everyone is doing well now in our second week of May, something like that. You're all wonderful. I'll see you soon. Okay, everybody, let's do a little bit of writing. We're going to center ourselves with a really quick 5-minute writing prompt. We don't want our writing practice to fall apart in quarantine. We want to make sure that we're staying sharp and continuing to develop our writing skills. So let's go ahead and do a writing prompt. Our week this week, right, is music, poetry, and spoken word. So the question that I have that I want you to do a little bit of writing about is, what makes music unique as a form of human self-expression that other mediums don't have? So let me expand on that a little bit. We've got art, painting, sculpture. We have acting. We have writing. We have poetry. Music is similar as it's a form of self-expression, but it's not the same. So what makes music a unique form of self-expression in humans? Why do we make music? What does it do for us that other forms don't? Give it a try. Do a little thinking, do a little bit of writing. Let me know what you come up with. You did it. You took 5 minutes for yourself, not for anybody else, completely for you, and you committed to making yourself a better writer. Nice job. I'm very proud of you. So those mashed potatoes, my cat, she's very proud of you too. Have a good week.